What's going on, everybody? Jump Rope to Freedom. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me for another video. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the EliteSRS Muay Thai weighted jump rope. People have been waiting a long time for this review. Well, I'm delivering in this video today. Please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button. Let's get into it. All right, now I've been waiting to get this rope for a while. It's the EliteSRS Pro Muay Thai. Well, actually, I think it's just called EliteSRS, the Muay Thai. I've seen that this rope, I think it's used by a rope dealer in India as well, called Sanguine maybe. But I have it to the side here so you can get the side profile. All right, so I'm opening it up. So the one thing to remember with this rope, if you get it on Amazon, is there's 3 sizes. There's one, and I'll put it over here. One size is small, which is this one for people who are like 5'7", 5'6", and below. Then there's the red one, and then there's the black one. So you have to pay attention to what size you're ordering. But this is how it comes through in Amazon. Not really too elaborate or anything like that. It just comes in. A lot of people have been asking me to review this rope. I've got a lot of EliteSRS products. I've got the Boxer 3.0, and I've also got a couple of the EliteSRS Pro Freestyles, which is one of my favorite ropes. So there's no need to use a knife here because it's just packaged in this plastic. I believe this rope weighs just north of 1 pound, and it's a 12mm cord, PVC, looks like PVC cord. It does come kind of coiled up here, which I'm a little worried about. I might have to hang it in order to make sure that it stretches out a little bit, but I'm definitely looking forward to using this rope. The handles are like rock solid, which is nice. I definitely was expecting foam handles or something along those lines, but these are rock solid handles. The cord looks like it's clear. You can see right through it. And again, I have the blue cord because I am less than 5'7", so this rope is not adjustable, so you have to make sure that you get the right rope for your height. I'm definitely excited to try this rope out, and I'll report back to you after about a month of using it. It looks like on the handles, they're pretty heavy duty. They have this bolt here in the back, and that's what's holding the rope in place. There's no real turn or play with the rope, except the turning mechanism comes from the handle, which turns like this and spins around. And it does have the writing on here, Muay Thai. It has Muay Thai training rope on both handles, and then it does have the EliteSRS label here, which it's not imprinted or it's not taped on like other ropes I've seen, so it's pretty well set into the handle so it won't come out. Seems to be pretty well made. So thanks for tuning into this part of the review. I'll check you out later. Let's talk about some of the pros, and I have 3 that I'm going to share with you in this video, but I think there's a lot to like about this jump rope. But the first thing that stands out to me, the first thing that I notice about this jump rope is how sturdy these handles are. These handles are solid. A lot of jump ropes that you get at this price point, the handles aren't all that solid, and they don't feel like they're going to last for too long. This is not the case with the EliteSRS Muay Thai weighted jump rope. The handles are sturdy, they're rock solid. Another thing to go along with the handles is the emblem, the logo is engraved in and isn't going to come out or fade away anytime soon. I know that might seem like a small thing to a lot of people, but for me, the small things matter. If you have a rope manufacturer or a rope dealer that doesn't take the time to focus on little details like this, and they cheaply print their name on there, well, that could be indicative of the entire product. It could tell you something about how they want to approach their product, and that they may be using cheap methods in their entire product and not just how they engrave or place their logo or their emblem on their handle or on their rope or what have you. So that's why I think that that aspect of a jump rope is so important. If you're gonna print your name on there, I say, why not spend the extra money and do it the right way so that people understand that you care about your products. That was a little bit of a digression, but I think it's important. You can tell a lot by how a company operates by the way that they focus on the little things. Second thing that I like about this rope is that it is a cheaper alternative to some of the other similar ropes on the market. And three come to mind. And this is about a 1 pound rope. This one right here weighs 1.3 pounds, and it's the lightest of the three. You have the blue, which is the one I have here, the red, which is the next size level up, and then the black, which is the 10 foot. And each of them increase in 0.2 pounds. So you got 1.3, the red is 1.5, and the black is 1.7. But what I do like about this rope is it is a cheaper alternative to other 1 pound ropes on the market. Now, because it's cheaper, you do get less flexibility. So in this case, if you compare this to the cross rope 1 pound rope, well, when you have the 1 pound rope with cross rope, you can switch it out with the power handles. With this, you can't switch anything out. This is what it is. You can't take this rope out unless you unscrew this bolt right here, which is a little bit too much work, and I don't think that EliteSRS had that in mind for this rope. So this rope comes as a unit. This rope is a cheaper alternative to three ropes that come to mind that are similar, and that is the cross rope 1 pound attachment, the RX Chronos 1 pound rope, and the Rush Athletics Legacy rope. All four of these ropes are about a pound, give or take 0.3, 0.5 pounds. But this rope comes in at $25 and is a cheaper alternative. I'm not trying to say anything against the other three ropes. I haven't used two of them. I use the cross rope 1 pound rope at least once a week, and I do like it, and I think it's a great rope. I'm just telling you that if you're looking for a cheaper alternative in the 1 pound rope market, then this is going to be cheaper than those other three ropes. I also like the simplicity of this rope. When you get it, it's not coming with a whole bunch of parts. It is what it is. It is a whole unit. And the way that you have to work with it when you jump speaks to the simplicity. So the handles are very short, and it makes it so that you have to focus on your footwork a lot more. I remember when I used this rope for the first time, I had to concentrate because it was so much different than any other weighted rope I used, but it was good concentration because it forced me to focus on footwork while I was focusing on rotating the rope, because since this isn't a mechanized rope, you have to do a lot more of the work. While with a mechanized rope, even though it gives you a great workout, a lot of the times all you need to do is start the momentum, and the mechanized rope will do a lot of the work for you, in my opinion. So the simple design, the handles, and it being a cheaper alternative to other well-known 1 pound ropes on the market is what I like about this jump rope. I'm going to talk about three things that I think could be improved on this rope and that I don't like too much. And the first one is for a PVC rope, it is very rigid and stiff. You can see here, there's not a lot of bending, there's not a lot of trade space as far as flexibility goes. Now that may be because this is a 12 millimeter PVC cord, so it is much thicker than other PVC cords on the market, but there's not a lot of flexibility here. When I first got this rope, I got it in the winter time in Michigan, so it was very cold. It was 20, 25 degrees every day for a few months. And as much of you know who watch this channel, when you are dealing with extreme weather conditions, whether that be very hot weather or extremely cold weather, PVC reacts to extreme weather conditions in a negative way, in the way that in cold weather, the PVC will stiffen up, and in hot weather, the PVC will become very loose. And that is what happened when I first got this rope in the winter time. I couldn't use it very much because it was so cold where I live that the PVC wasn't reacting very well to it. But even now in the summertime, it is very stiff, and it doesn't take away from the performance as much, but it is a little bit more difficult to use than, say, a cross rope 1 pound attachment. Now, this second point I'm going to talk about relates to the rigidity of the cord, and that is setting the rope up for use. As I said, I got this in the winter time, and it was tough to use because of the rigidity. So what I ended up doing, and I got this idea from someone who watches the channel, so thank you very much. I actually had to fill my sink up with hot water and put this cord in the sink for a few minutes so that it will loosen up. Now, I haven't had to do that since then, but that took a good 10 minutes. Now, with other PVC cords that are much thinner than this, a 4 or 5 millimeter cord, all you need to do is disengage the rope from the handles and put the cord in boiling water for a minute, which is a little bit convenient, but it's not too bad. But with this, first off, it's very difficult to take the cord out of the handle, so you can't put it in a boiling tub of water, a boiling pot of water. And second, it is much bigger and more cumbersome than a 4 or 5 millimeter rope is. So it would be almost impossible to boil this in water. So what I had to do was put it in my sink. Now, the person who views the channel recommended I put it in the bathtub. I put it in the sink, and it did help. And as I said, I haven't had to do it since then, but that is a bit inconvenient when you get a rope to have to go through those steps before it is performing at its optimal level. I'm a proponent for ropes that you can either adjust or tie knots in easily. And one thing that I don't like about this rope is you cannot adjust it. And if you tie knots in it, because the rope is so thick, it's going to shorten the rope too much. But what that does is it makes it so that you have to pay attention to the size that you get. The sizing is very clearly delineated on EliteSRS's website. It's clearly delineated and distinguishable on Amazon, which is where I got this from. But still, it is easy to get excited about ordering a jump rope and to order the wrong size. And I'm sure that the company would exchange it for you, but it would be all sorts of inconvenience of having to go to the post office or leave it for the Amazon delivery person. And it would sort of wreck the moment of getting a new jump rope and going out and using it wherever you work out. The sizing and the non-adjustability, I'm not a big fan of. It doesn't take away from the performance and the experience of the rope. But for me personally, I like a rope that you can have some flexibility with as far as sizing goes. There are certain tricks like crossovers where you want to have a little bit more length on your rope. And there are certain jumping routines where you want to have a shorter rope. This rope comes as a unit and it comes in the size that you get. And it is difficult to deviate from the size that you get once you have it where you are working out with it. Inflexibility is something that I would change, but it doesn't take away from the overall experience. The other problem that I have with this rope is that it doesn't, to my knowledge, offer replacement cords. Now, a rope like this is going to be a lot more durable, but what I like about PVC ropes, I like when the vendor who sells the rope sells replacement cables so that you don't have to keep buying a whole new rope set, so you can save money that way. You don't have to keep buying a brand new jump rope set every time the rope breaks. How can you use this rope for the most optimal workout session and to derive the most benefits? Well, I'm going to tell you my opinion. You may disagree, you may agree. Either way, I'm sharing my opinion and how I've gotten the most out of this jump rope so far. The first is quick, high intensity interval training sessions. Since this is a weighted rope, it's going to be harder to jump for a longer period of time. Some of you guys and girls out there who are strong and can jump for 4, 5, 6 plus minutes with a rope like this, more power to you. But most people are going to have a hard time jumping for more than 30 seconds to a minute straight with this rope. But what you can do there is you can do shorter bursts of jumping, especially if you use the alternate footstep and you go for 30 seconds to a minute. What that's going to do is it's going to stress your upper body out tremendously, and you're going to be able to build muscle that way. EliteSRS does recommend to do shorter bursts of exercises with this rope because it is over a pound. Way to hold this rope, in my opinion, is using the power grip. And the power grip looks like this. The conventional grip looks like this with the thumb extended. The power grip looks like this. First, you normally want to use the power grip with a weighted rope because it is much more taxing on your shoulders if you extend your thumb, and you won't be able to jump as long and as effectively than if you use the power grip. And the other thing to consider here is these handles are very short. They're not long enough to use the thumb extended. You see my thumb is actually going over the handle, and I have smaller hands than average. So someone who has bigger hands, their thumb would probably go all the way up the cord. So that's why I recommend using the power grip when you use this rope. I think you're going to get the most out of this jump rope if you use it for conventional single unders, basic bounces, alternate footsteps, and some intermediate level tricks like double unders and crossovers. And you may be able to do some double under crossovers with this rope. I haven't tried it, but it's going to be difficult to do any freestyle tricks or anything of that nature because of the handles and because the rope is so thick. To get the most out of this rope, I would stick with the basics. The boxer step, heel toe, basic bounce. You can switch it up and do some double unders if you want to. Double unders are a great way to get the sprinter's version of jump rope, and they can get your heart rate up, and you can also get into that high intensity interval training type regimen with double unders. If you know how to do side swings and side swing doubles where you're not jumping over the rope, this is a great way to get a killer upper body workout, is by doing side swings. When you do a side swing with a weighted rope, you're going to engage your upper body, your shoulders, and your pecs a lot more if you were to do a side swing with a 4mm or a 5mm rope that isn't considered a weighted rope. So that's another thing to consider here to get the most out of this jump rope, is doing alternating side swings, one side swings, or side swing doubles where you're actually moving from side to side. Price to value. Warren Buffett says price is what you pay, but value is what you get. So for price to value, it is an important metric because you want to know that the hard-earned dollars that you spend on your jump rope is going to go a long way. So for price to value, I give this rope a 5 out of 5 jumps. There are ropes on the market, weighted ropes on the market that are cheaper than this, but I think where this rope really shines is in these handles. These handles are sturdy, they are solid, and they feel very good when I'm doing a workout and I'm turning this rope. I think that everything depends on these handles with this. If these handles were made any less solid or any less sturdy, I would give it a 4 or a 3 out of 5 in price to value, but these handles are where this rope really shines. And for $25, I think that that deserves a 5 out of 5 jumps on price to value. I give this rope a 5 out of 5 jumps for quality. It is a regular PVC rope. Obviously the PVC is thicker, but I've had no issues, and I've used this rope at least once a week for the past couple months. There is a little bit of wear and tear here on the PVC where the cord strikes the mat that I use, but no kind of discernible degradation to the rope, which I like. I think that a rope that lasts is a rope that you can have confidence in, and I think that this is a rope that anybody who buys can have confidence in. I also love these handles. I love the indentation here, and I love the solid nature of the handles. If they feel sturdy, they feel like they're never going to break. So for quality on the EliteSRS Muay Thai rope, I give a 5 out of 5 jumps. Versatility is always a tough metric to apply to a specialized rope like this. And when I say specialized, the main two specialties are double under ropes and weighted ropes. And so this would fall into the weighted rope specialization class. And it's always tough to apply a reasonable and fair versatility metric to specialized ropes, because you know that when you specialize in the weight class, you're not going to get as much ability to do freestyle tricks or anything along those lines. Or if you specialize in double unders for the same reason, you're not going to have the benefits that a weighted rope brings you, and you're not going to be able to do freestyle tricks. So with all those things being said, for a weighted rope, this rope gets a 4 out of 5 jumps for versatility, just because it is a little bit of a rigid cord, so it is tough to do simple crossovers and double under crossovers. But double unders are not difficult to do with this rope if you have the strength and you have the double under skill down already on a conventional 4 or 5 millimeter cord, or even a double under CrossFit rope. I give this rope a 4 out of 5 jumps for versatility. I think that it is versatile for what you get for it being a weighted rope. Performance with this rope I think is good, but I don't think it gets a 5 out of 5. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 jumps. The main reason that I give this rope a 4 out of 5 jumps is because of how rigid the PVC cord is. What that does is it makes it a little bit harder to turn the rope around and to do some more advanced tricks. When you think of doing tricks with a rope like this, an advanced trick would be a crossover, because it is heavier and it is harder to move. The rigidity and stiffness of the rope can sometimes get in the way and make it a little bit harder to perform at an optimal level. But still, I think that the performance on this rope is good, but I think it falls just short of the 5 out of 5 mark for those reasons. But for performance for the EliteSRS Muay Thai weighted rope, I give it a 4 out of 5 jumps. Ease of use. Ease of use is an important metric for jump ropes, because like any piece of exercise equipment, you want it to have as few obstacles in being able to use it as possible. Exercising is difficult for most people, and especially if you're just starting out, you want to remove as many obstacles as possible to getting your jump rope and going out and doing your exercise routine, so that you can get into building good exercise habits into your life. So I look at ease of use in 2 ways. First, I look at how easy is the rope to set up and prepare for use once you get it from the vendor, and then in operation, once you've gotten it set up, how easy is it to use? Is it intuitive? Can you jump without having to think about it too much? So for the first section of it, setting it up, it was pretty difficult to get set up because of how rigid the cord is, and I keep going back to it. I had to soak it in my sink, which took about 10 minutes to get all of the rigidity out of it, and it still is pretty rigid, as you can see. That one I give a 2 out of 5 jumps as far as the initial setup goes, because I did have to take a lot of extra steps to get this rope to the point where I could operate it. Once it was good to go, once I had gotten it prepared and I had gotten the stiffness out of the cord, I give it a 5 out of 5 jumps for operation. It's very easy to use. These handles make it easy to use and easy to operate. So overall, a 2 out of 5 jumps for the initial setup and a 5 out of 5 jumps for actual operations of the rope. My overall thoughts are that this is a good rope. I don't know if it's a great rope for someone who is just starting. I think it might be a little bit too heavy and it might be a little bit difficult to use because it has so few parts, and it does take a good bit of skill to be able to use this rope. I don't think that I would recommend this rope for a beginner, but if you have the strength to use a 1 pound rope, or you just started jumping rope and you feel like you're ready for a new challenge, then I think that going out and trying this rope out would be a good idea. I think that if maybe you don't have enough money to buy a cross rope or invest in the other ropes I was talking about in this video, this may be a good alternative for you. Maybe you are trying to figure out if you would like a weighted rope and you want to start with something that is cheaper, then maybe this rope would be a good idea for you. If you're looking to build muscle, if you're looking to do some weighted double unders and some burnout hit sessions where you're doing 30 seconds, 45 seconds to a minute of intense jumping, I think this rope would definitely be a good rope to consider and to add to your jump rope collection. I've certainly gotten a lot of value from it. I do genuinely enjoy jumping with it, mainly because the handles are so easy to use and they're so solid and sturdy. Thanks so much for tuning into this video today. I greatly appreciate it, and I'm so thankful for the support that you continue to show the channel. It means a lot to me. If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button. It would help the channel continue to grow. If you have any experiences you want to share with this jump rope, the EliteSRS Muay Thai jump rope, you have any questions about jump rope in general, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below, and I will be sure to get back to you. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook as well. I'm active on there and I do respond to messages on there. So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, jump rope to freedom. Peace. Thank you for your support.